Help. Can't. Open mayonnaise. What?
In the bizarre deep-sea metropolis of Bikini Bottom, where our yellow spongy friend resides inside a literal pineapple, and a boating school exists under the ocean, don't think too hard about it, there's this one burning question we've all been scratching our heads over. Can mayonnaise actually be considered an instrument? In Season 2, Episode 15, Band Geeks, a scene unfolds that has left fans, well, a bit stirred up. It's an episode dripping with tension, drama, and of course, mayonnaise. Squidward, our beloved clarinet player, whose musical abilities are, let's just say, questionable, has his ego on the line. Squidward's rival, Squilliam, calls him up to brag about his successful band. Squilliam is supposed to play the Bubble Bowl, the underwater Super Bowl, with real air. Again, don't think too hard about it, but tells Squidward that his band cannot make it. Squilliam then offers the gig to Squidward in a sarcastic manner, believing that Squidward doesn't have a band and hoping to see him fail.
That's right!
Motivated to prove Squilliam wrong and not be humiliated, Squidward forms a band with the residents of the Bikini Bottom. Just as you'd expect, we see instruments of all shapes and sizes. Yet, amidst this cacophony of sounds and sights, Patrick takes center stage with his iconic and befuddling inquiry.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
Let's take a moment. Peel back the layers of humor. And what do you find? A profound philosophical question that epitomizes the enigmatic enigma that is Patrick Star. Is he inadvertently hinting at the transcendental nature of sound and music? Or is he perhaps just really hungry?
Horseradish is not an instrument either.
Let's face it, the pink, lovable, often clueless Patrick Star might just be way ahead of our time. Let's look at Season 3, Episode 45. SpongeBob, in all his tiny glory, shrinks everyone in Bikini Bottom. Now, I don't know about you, but if I had a shrunken city on my hands, I'd be sweating bullets. But not Patrick. He has the solution.
You know what the problem is? You got it set to M for mini, when it should be set to W for Wumbo.
Now, this might seem far-fetched, but if you remember Season 4, Episode 18, there was a biker gang coming called the Wild Ones. Both SpongeBob and Patrick were freaking out, when in reality, they just had the W upside down. It was really the mild ones. Did Patrick sense the twist? Was he onto something with Wumbo? Lastly, let's wind back to good old Season 1, Episode 3. Poor Squidward, always finding himself in a pinch, gets injured, and it's up to SpongeBob and Patrick to take him jellyfishing. Yes. And while you might chuckle at Patrick's attempt to guide SpongeBob in the art of net wielding with a simple, firmly grasp it in your hand, this moment can be seen as more than just comic relief.
Firmly grasp it! Firmly grasp it!
Maybe it's a testament to the idea of never giving up. Or maybe, just maybe, it's a gentle reminder that sometimes the solution is right in front of you, if only you'd firmly grasp it. The question can also be that mayonnaise symbolizes a creative spirit that refuses to be confined by societal norms. Could he be the Bikini Bottom equivalent of a musical maverick?
Yep.
The essence of music, as we understand it, often revolves around traditional instruments, meticulously crafted compositions, and structured rhythms. Yet, the world of SpongeBob SquarePants frequently subverts our expectations, making us question our preconceived notions.
Way to go, buddy. It took us 3 days to make that potato salad.
No episode exemplifies this better than Jellyfish Jam, a symphony of commonplace sounds that might very well be the inception of Patrick Star's musical curiosity. SpongeBob inadvertently invites chaos into his home in the form of a jellyfish. While initially it's all fun and games, soon the Pineapple House transforms into a nightclub. The jellyfish get mad, and in order to keep them from destroying everything, SpongeBob uses Gary's eyes as a metronome. The bubbles made sounds. The treasure chest opening and closing also made sounds. And even the big anchor made what sounded like a maraca. The fascinating aspect here is the lack of traditional instruments. This unorchestrated, impromptu jam session creates an environment where music is born not from meticulous planning, but spontaneous, organic interactions. Such a scenario paints a vivid picture. If the mundane, everyday sounds of life can blend into a melodious composition, why can't other regular objects, like a jar of mayonnaise, hold potential for music. It's within this soundscape that one can imagine Patrick Starr's burgeoning curiosity. As a character who frequently challenges conventional wisdom with his unique perspective, it seems fitting that he would be the one to question the boundaries of what constitutes an instrument. Now, what is music? It's not just a question that's puzzled many of Bikini Bottom residents, looking at you, Patrick, but it's one of the big existential questions that's haunted humans for ages. You might think of Beethoven's symphonies or maybe even the latest pop hit. But what if I told you that the silence in between the notes, the ambient noise of a room, or even the faint slosh of mayonnaise is music? Enter the world of avant-garde music. Think of it as the Bikini Bottom of the music world. Unexpected, quirky, and absolutely brilliant in its own way. Experimentalists like John Cage didn't just compose music. Oh no, they challenged music. 433, for instance. It's a piece where the musician doesn't play a single note for 4 minutes and 33 seconds. Drawing attention to the ambient sounds, the very essence of silence, becomes the melody. And in this light, could Patrick's tapping on a mayo jar be Bikini Bottom's next big hit? Now let's talk about our squid friend, Squidward. When Patrick presented his groundbreaking query, Squidward's immediate dismissal is oh so reminiscent of the many times innovators were laughed out of the room. It's the classic tale of visionaries facing skepticism. But that's the thing about pioneers. They're often met with doubt until the world catches up with their genius. And of course, there's SpongeBob. Ever bubbly, ever curious. While he might chuckle at Patrick's antics, there's a part of him that maybe, just maybe, wonders about the musical potential of that mayo jar. It's a beautiful reminder that behind every revolutionary idea, there's usually a support system cheering from the sidelines. Before I do end this video, I just want to say the residents of Bikini Bottom aren't too different from us, and Patrick's mayo query serves as the perfect example. Now, think of the first time someone heard an experimental music piece from the avant-garde movements, and they were probably like, what? That's not music. And that's exactly the reaction our starfish friend got when he dared to ask if mayo was an instrument. Sound familiar? That's because whenever something revolutionary comes along, it's often met with skepticism. But hey, remember this, today's joke could be tomorrow's masterpiece. But let's get real here. Patrick Starr isn't just asking about condiments. He's shaking the very foundation of what we consider music and art. He's essentially telling us to think outside the box, or jar in this case, and question the norm. And isn't that what true innovators do? They challenge, they provoke, they inspire. Can mayo evoke an emotion? Can it make you ponder? Can it be art? If the answer's yes, then who are we to deny its musical prowess? But here's the thing, let's not just keep these musings to ourselves. Imagine the ripples we could create in the music and art world if we all embraced the Patrick Starr philosophy. To wrap up this grand theory, remember Patrick's unique wisdom is not about understanding the world in a traditional sense, but about encouraging us to see things from a different perspective. It's about finding the extraordinary in the ordinary, hearing the unseen, and embracing the unexpected. And who knows? Maybe the next great symphony awaits in a jar of mayo sitting in your fridge.